Good morning, second grade. It is so good to see you again, and it is a beautiful day in Chattanooga today. The sun is shining, and we get to do math together. I'm Mrs. Baker, and we're going to be doing something a little different than we've been doing this as we've been together this week. Today, we're going to be diving into word problems. These are my favorite kind. It gives a story to these naked problems that we've been doing. It's kind of exciting. Before we can do that, though, we need to talk about our learning target, and then we're going to do a little warm-up with our work from yesterday. So let's get those bow and arrows ready. Pull back and shoot. I can, and read it with me, I can solve word problems using models and equations. Did you see that I underlined the word and? There's that conjunction that we know from second grade, and it means both. It doesn't mean one, it doesn't mean the other, it means both of those things. So when we're solving word problems in second grade, we want to make sure we write an equation or a number sentence to match that story. And we also want to do and use a picture of some sort to solve it. And we've already been using models. This is nothing new to you. Our models might be our base 10s. They may be using a number line. Those models might even be using numbers to represent other numbers, breaking those big numbers into 10s and 1s. That's another model that's showing how you're doing your work. So today, we're going to be using both of those things, a number sentence and a model, to solve word problems. And like I just said, a word problem just gives us a story to our equation. It just gives a little bit more meaning to what we're solving. We're going to warm up with one of those multiple or several two-digit numbers in an equation. Yesterday we were solving equations that had 3 add-ins and 4 add-ins. And I gave you a challenge to think about yesterday. And the equation we left with was 13 plus 38 plus 12. If I remember right, we were trying to figure out some animals in the zoo. Remember that? Maybe some birds, amphibians, and reptiles? Yeah. So yesterday, we were using and breaking apart our numbers into 10s and 1s to make this easier to solve. So I'm going to show you what I hope you did yesterday. My way might not be your way. You might have even solved it in more than one way. Let's take a peek. 13 plus 38 plus 12. How can I represent that 13? With a 10 and 3 1s. The number 38, I'm going to represent or show with 3 10s and 8 1s. And my 12, I'm going to represent or show with 1 10 and 2 1s. You can see my 10s in each of these models, and you can see my 1s in each of them as well. My 3, my 8, and my 2. Now yesterday we were doing some dancing, right? Because 10s are our friends. Do you see where there's a 10 in this work? I do too. I see that 8 and that 2, and we know that that makes a 10. And then we have 3 extra 1s right there. So you could write it where you add your 10 over here and cross it off there. You could even write it like this. Let's see. I know I have 3 10s. This is our 4th 10 and our 5th 10, which makes 50. I see a 10 in my 1s, and I also see my 3 extra 1s. I'm really just decomposing or breaking up my 13 into my 10s and my 1s a little bit more. When I see that, I see, oh, 50 and 10 is 60, and 60 and 3 is 63. And then look at that. There we have our sum of those 3 two-digit numbers that we were adding together. Some of us even added using just numbers. So I had some friends, I bet, that did this. 30 plus 10 is 50. Where else do we see that 50 in my model here? That's right. I see my 50 right here in my 10s. Then adding our 1s, the 3, the 8, and the 2. And knowing, because you guys are so smart, that that 8 and that 2 actually makes 10. And if I can make that 10 first, it's so much easier to add. I have 13, and when I look at 50 and 13, I see 5 10s and 1 10, which is 6 10s, and I see 3 1s and 0 1s, which is 3 1s, and boom, 6 10s and 3 1s is 63. It almost feels like magic, right? You all are so smart. I want you to give me a little wiggle waggle if you did something like that yesterday. I'm not surprised. So now, you gotta put your thinking caps on. You gotta turn your listening ears up, because the most important thing that we have to think about when we're reading a word problem is to listen for these key parts in the story that help us know what are they telling us and what are they asking from us. So here's my story. I had a little bit of fun with these stories the other day. Mrs. Baker's second graders were having an epic book challenge during virtual learning. You know Epic, the website with free books that you can read. My kids in my class love it, and my own kids in my house love Epic. So we're having a little book challenge. The first week that we had this challenge, they read 53 books total. The second week, they read 37. I'm thinking it might have been a little bit nicer outside that second week, so they weren't inside on the computer reading these books on the computer. That's just a guess. How many books did they read during their challenge? Now let me read that to you one more time, and I want you to listen really carefully for the information that this problem is giving us. Mrs. Baker's second graders were having an epic book challenge during virtual learning. Together, they read 53 books in the first week and 37 books in the second week. How many books did they read during their challenge? What do we already know? And that's something I ask my second graders all the time when we're doing word problems. What do we already know from this story? You got it. They read 53 books during that first week, and I love to underline in my story problem. What else do we already know? They read 37 books the second week. What am I trying to find out, or what is this problem asking us? That's right. They're asking us, what we're trying to find out is, how many books did they read during the challenge? We don't know how many they read. We know that they read 53 in the first week, and we know that they read 37 in the second week. How can we figure out the answer to this question? Could we write an equation that might help us solve this? Take a minute, and in your math notebooks, because I know you have them set up, write an equation or a number sentence that would match this story. What did you put in this problem? 53? Did you do an addition or a subtraction symbol? Why do we put an addition sign? We're adding these together. The first week and the second week together tell us how many they read all together. Then there's that 37. We can't forget our equal sign. And what am I going to put after that equal sign? A box. Now, second grade, I know and you know that any time we are writing an equation or a number sentence, when we're thinking about a word problem, we have to put a box for the unknown, because that box will let us know, I don't know this part of the equation, I need to solve for this. So you're going to have a chance to solve for this right now. Now this is old hat. We've already been adding two-digit numbers together, right? So now that we've read our story and we've written an equation to match it, now you all get to solve it. Go ahead and take a few moments. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write this equation, if you haven't already, and show me how you're going to solve it using your model, okay? Using a model, show me how you might solve that. While you're working, you're going to hear me chirping in your ear and trying to give you some reminders of things that you don't want to forget. Go ahead and start. Where is your 53 in your model? Where's your 37 in your model? How did you break apart those numbers? How did you decompose them is the fancy way of asking that. What are you adding together first? Are you adding together your 10s or your 1s? What do you notice when you add those 1s together? How do you know that you have the correct answer at the end? Could you show it another way? You have about a little less than a minute to finish solving. About 30 seconds, and I'm going to start counting down. Make sure you can find your 53 and your 37 in your work. And make sure that you've plugged back in your sum of those two numbers in that box in your equation. We're going to put our pencils down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pencils down, done. That means you're not writing anything right now, your eyes are up, you're looking to see how we're going to show this, and you can make some tweaks when you're done if you'd like. But I also want you to think, yeah, that's what I did too. All right, if we were going to use a model using our base 10, how could we do this? Absolutely. We want to draw our 5 10s. Where are those 5 10s coming from? They're coming from 53. What else we need to use to show that 53? We can't forget those 3 1s. What about 37? 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 3 10s and 7 1s. 5 10s and 3 1s. 53, 37. Do you see where I found where those numbers were from my equation in my model? Now what are we going to do? If you added your 10s first, raise your hand. Ooh, who added their 1s first? Either of that works. How many 10s do I have? I have 8. You're right. I have 5 10s here and 3 10s here, and I know 5 and 3 is 8, so I know 5 10s and 3 10s is 8 10s, and that means that I have 80. Yes. How many 1s do I have? Did you see that too? 3 and 7 makes what? 10. And 10 is what? Oh yeah, 10 is a friend. 10 is a friend, that's right. And if I have 80 and I add 10 more, what does that make? 90. So if I'm adding 53 and 37 and I get 90, how many books did my class read in our Epic Book Challenge? That's right. They read 90 books in their Epic Book Challenge. I bet you could have a little Epic Book Challenge too. How else could I show this work? How else could I have another model that represents this equation? I like a good number line too. And I like to show these to all my second grade friends because just because this doesn't work for you doesn't mean that this can't. Or just because this one doesn't work for you right now doesn't mean that this one can't. So we like to show all these ways, and we do this in my classroom too, because you are going to pick one that helps you make sense of these problems. And I want you to pick the one that works best for you and then you can try other ones later on. Where am I going to start with my number line? I like starting with my bigger number 2. It helps me. I don't have to make as many jumps that way. And what am I going to add first? Ooh, I can make that big jump of 30. Where is that 30 coming from? My 3 10s and my 37. And what do I land on when I jump 30 from 53? I land on 83 because 5 10s and 3 10s is 8 10s. Ooh, 5 10s and 3 10s is 8 10s. Just that digit right there. Now what am I going to do? You guys are so smart. You already know that 7 more gets you to that next 10. And what is the next 10 from 83? It is 90. And I love to circle where I land. Where's my 53 in this model? It's where I'm starting. And remember, it's that all those numbers before that make up 53. Where's my 37? 3 10s and 7 1s. And there's my 37. And where is my sum of those two numbers? 90. You are correct. Let's take our time to show one more, and then I'm going to read my next problem. We're going to write the equation together, and then you're going to get to solve it on your own. Let's go ahead and look and see how just breaking our numbers up into 10s and 1s using actual numbers, not this picture of 10s and 1s or our base 10 blocks, and not with our number line, but just numbers alone. How can I show 53? 50 plus 3 makes 53. There's that expanded form. Stretch that number out, showing our 10s and our 1s. What about 37? 30 plus 7. And what am I going to do? This time I could add my 1s first. 7 and 3 is 10. 50 and 30 is 80. And 80 and 10 is 90. Man, oh man. Now take a minute, second grade, and I want you to look at these 3 models. Here's our equation that matches our story with our box for the unknown at the end. How do these 3 models help us make sense of this problem? They show our week 1 and our week 2, our week 1 and our week 2, our week 1 and our week 2. Yes, they're breaking up our 10s and our 1s, our 10s and our 1s. Where do you see that on the number line, that breaking up of 10s and 1s, that decomposing? We didn't break up the 53, did we? We did break up our 37. We broke that up into our 10s and our 1s. All right, thinking caps back on, listening ears turn back up. Click them up. The next problem we're going to read together. We're going to write an equation together to match the story. And then you all are going to solve it on your own. And we'll review it tomorrow when we come back together. There were 75 pets at the Pet Adoption Center that needed a family to adopt them. Over the holidays, 49 of them were adopted. Yay! How many pets are still at the center? There were 75 pets at the Pet Adoption Center that needed a family to adopt them. Over the holidays, 49 of them were adopted. How many pets are still at the center? What could we write to match this story? What's happening? What do we already know? We know that there were 75 pets at the adoption center that needed to be adopted. We know that over the holidays, 49 of them were adopted. What are we trying to find out, or what is the problem asking us? That's right, we want to find out how many pets are left. So what's happening in this story? Are we getting more? Are we putting these numbers together, or are we taking them apart? I agree. we're finding the difference. Up here, we were finding the sum of those two numbers because we were adding them together. But here on this problem, we're finding out the difference. We're finding out that we had 7 for 75, 49 of them were adopted, and we're figuring out what's left. So what equation could we write to match this story? 75 minus 49 equals bucks. What do each of those numbers mean from our story? These were the pets that were there at the center to begin with. These are the ones that were adopted. And this represents the ones that are still left. Which puppies and kitties are left at the center? Now, second grade, I asked my second graders this morning this question. Am I going to be able to, I should say, take my ones from 49 away from 75 easily? Why not? You're right. 9 is more than 5. So thinking back to our work from Thursday and Friday, and even our work from yesterday when we were putting numbers together, what do I need to do to make sure that I can take these 9 ones away from 75? Yeah, I'm going to need to trade one of my 10s from 75 and put them into my 1s. So that means that might not look exactly the same. It might look like 6 10s and 15 1s. Or it might look like 7 10s and 5 1s, and then you cross off a 10 and add 10 1s to take their place before you take away your 49. However you choose to do it, whether you use your base 10 blocks to help you subtract, whether you use your number line to subtract, or getting wild and woolly and using those equations to help you subtract. Whichever way works best for you, I want you to see if you can figure out how many pets are still left at the center. And remember, mathematicians, we always want to know where both of our numbers from our equation are in your work. Don't forget to label those and show them. And as always, you are great, strong mathematicians, and you will rock it. Have a great day.
Up, everybody? Welcome to Brain Breaks with Coach Wood. Today we're going to do a super quick exercise. We're going to be doing some wacky workouts today, ladies and gentlemen. So get up, spread out, and what I want you to do is spread those legs out, put those arms in the air. We're going to start off with some Wacky Jacks. Bend over to one side, and we're going to start moving like this. Woo! We're going to get up, we're going to get moving, we're going to get some energy out. We've been looking at a computer all day, a TV all day. Hey, get up, get moving. It's important. And tell you what, we got 3 minutes to get as much energy out as we can. So let's get rolling. I'm still doing this. If you're still confused, remember, spread your legs out, lean over to one side, boom, just like this. They're called Wacky Jacks. When I say wacky, you say jacks. Wacky, wacky, wacky. Woo! All right, nice. Shake it out, kick your legs out, feel your chest, your heart should be going boom, 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 boom. Breathing a little harder. You guys are doing great. Next move we're going to do, one of my favorite, they're called burpees. Every time you do it, you got to say, excuse me. I'm joking, you don't. But burpees, what you're going to do, you're going to stand up straight. You're going to go down to the ground, kick your legs out, touch the ground, come up, jump up. That's a burpee, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it. We don't have to go fast. Let's take our time. Ready, set, go. Come down. What's up, ground? Come up, little jump. Nothing crazy. Coming up. Whew. If I need to take a break for a minute, I'll just walk it out. All right? No worries. Come back down. Nice. Jump up. Come back down. Jump up. Oh, goodness. Coach, has it been 3 minutes? No, it's not. We still have plenty of time. Let's do a couple more burpees. Ready? Down. One more. Let's go. You can do it. Come on. Get down. Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You only got 1 more minute with me, all right? Shake it out. Watch out, wall. Don't hit your wall. If you're by a TV or a vase, don't kick it. Don't hurt it. Don't want mom or dad getting mad. All right, lastly, one of my favorites, the grand finale. We're going to be doing some star jumps. Now, at the end of each star jump, if you want, go ahead and say, I'm a star. I can't hear you. Go ahead. Go as loud as you want, but not too loud, all right? Ready, set, go. Squat down, jump up. Squat down, jump up. Woo. I'm jumping. On the camera, I'm jumping so high, I might touch the ceiling. Here we go. I'm a star. There we go. You guys are killing it. Keep it going. Guess what? Let's do a couple more. 1, 2. Actually, let's do one more. Ready? Boom. Woo. 10 seconds left. Shake it out. Kick it out. You guys rock. I will see you in a little bit.